For the longest time, we've all thought of business strategy as this uniquely human thing: creativity, intuition, experience. But what if that's all about to change, like fundamentally? Today, we're going to dive into how AI isn't just another tool for business anymore. It's actually becoming the strategist, forcing us to completely rethink what a company even is.
All right, so let's just jump right in with a question that, honestly, is at the core of all of this. What happens when your best strategist isn't human? And look, this isn't sci-fi anymore. This is a real question that leaders and entire companies are wrestling with as we speak, and the answer is completely changing the game of how businesses compete and win.
So, to really get where this is all heading, we've got to look back first. Our story doesn't start with silicon and code. It starts with prying open that black box of the human mind to see how decisions really get made inside a company.
You see, for ages, the standard thinking was that a firm is this perfectly rational machine. It has all the info, it makes the perfect choice, it maximizes profit. Simple. But back in 1963, thinkers like Cyert and March just blew that idea up. They introduced a behavioral view, arguing that, hey, firms aren't perfect machines. They're actually messy groups of real people who never have all the information and are basically just trying to find solutions that are good enough.
And this all hinges on a really key idea called bounded rationality. It's a simple concept, but it's so powerful. It just means our minds have limits. We can't know everything, we can't process every piece of data, and we definitely can't see the future perfectly. And that single idea, it really sets the stage for everything we're about to talk about.
Okay, so what do these limits actually look like in the real world for a strategist trying to make big decisions? Let's break down the cognitive roadblocks that trip up even the smartest people in the room every single day.
First up, information overload. And man, this one is huge. Strategists today are just buried under an absolute avalanche of data. Market trends, what competitors are doing, internal reports, you name it. Our brains just weren't built for this. So we're forced to pick and choose, and that, of course, creates massive blind spots.
Then you've got our good old friends, systematic biases. Things like confirmation bias, where we just look for info that proves what we already think, or being way too overconfident in our plans. And look, these aren't just one-off oops moments. They are baked into how we think, and they consistently mess with our judgment.
And finally, there's the problem of fragmented knowledge. The most important piece of information you need might be stuck in the finance department's spreadsheet, or maybe it's in a marketing report in another country, or it's just locked away in someone's head. Trying to get a full, clear picture, it's next to impossible for any one person.
And believe me, the fallout from these limits, it can be absolutely massive. Just think about Kodak completely missing the boat on digital cameras, or Blockbuster laughing at the idea of streaming. These companies didn't fail because their leaders were unintelligent. They failed because of these very human cognitive limits, the ingrained habits and biases that made them blind to the revolutions happening right under their noses.
So it's exactly because of all these human hang-ups that a totally new kind of mind is stepping into the picture. And this brings us to the rise of the algorithmic strategist, which is really a direct answer to all those cognitive hurdles we just talked about. You can really see AI's role in strategy evolving in three big stages. First, it was just an assistant, crunching numbers for us. Now it's becoming more of a digital colleague, actually making some decisions on its own in certain areas. But the next step, that's the real leap. AI as an autonomous agent leader, where it takes charge of strategy and humans move into a supervisory role.
And that final stage leads us to this wild idea: autonomous business models. Just think about it. An airline, let's say like Ryanair, but it's run completely by an AI. The algorithms would set every single price, optimize every flight path, negotiate fuel contracts, all in real time. In a model like that, the AI isn't just helping the business. It is the strategic brain of the business.
But hold on, this isn't some story about robots taking over. No, it's really a story about partnership. The most forward-thinking companies right now aren't just building better algorithms, they're designing entirely new kinds of organizations where humans and AI can truly collaborate.
We call this new model the cognitive enterprise. It's an organization that's built from scratch to combine the best of both worlds. You get the creativity, the empathy, and the common sense of humans fused with the insane scale, speed, and analytical power of AI.
And if you want a perfect real-world example, look no further than Uber. Uber isn't just a tech company with an app, it's a cognitive enterprise. Its entire business model, the dynamic pricing, matching drivers and riders, predicting demand, it's all built on a strategic core that is purely algorithmic. It basically replaced an entire industry of human dispatchers with an AI.
Now, if you're sitting there thinking, okay, this is interesting, but it's probably way off in the future, think again. A mind-blowing 82% of business leaders are pointing to 2025, that's next year, as the make-or-break moment for this transformation. This isn't about tinkering with AI anymore. It's about rebuilding the whole company around it, and that's happening right now.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground, right? From the limits of our own minds to the rise of this new algorithmic strategist. So for this last part, let's tie it all together and look at how this is absolutely rewriting the rules of the game.
This timeline just pulls the whole story together so well. We started in the 60s just trying to understand human limits. Then in the 2010s, we started using AI as a basic tool. And now, we're at a point where agentic AI is becoming a player in its own right. The speed of change is just accelerating like crazy as we barrel towards these autonomous business models.
So, all of this really boils down to one huge question. What does the firm of the future actually look like? How is its DNA, its very structure, being re-engineered by this new partnership between people and machines? Okay, let's build this new kind of firm, level by level. At the very bottom, level 1, you've got the firm we've all known for years, the traditional cognitive firm. Its success, its potential, it's all defined and ultimately limited by what human minds can do alone.
Now take a step up to level 2. This is probably where a lot of companies are right now. They're integrating AI. That black box of decision-making gets a little bigger. It now includes algorithms that can process data and offer up insights. But the humans? They're still the ones calling all the final strategic shots.
But here at level 3, this is where the magic really happens. The company becomes a true cognitive-algorithmic hybrid. It's not just the hierarchy anymore. It's a living system of constant learning. Strategy isn't just handed down. It emerges from this constant back and forth, this dance between human minds and AI.
And that brings us to the very top, level 4, mastering human-AI fusion. At this level, winning isn't about having the smartest people or the fanciest tech anymore. It's all about who is the best at designing and managing this incredible hybrid intelligence. That is the new competitive frontier.
So, here's the bottom line. The very definition of what it means to be a competitive company is being rewritten right here, right now. That black box of strategy isn't just human anymore. And that really leaves us with just one final, pretty urgent question we all have to ask ourselves. Your competition is evolving. Are you?